Alrighty, and here comes Project XB episode 8. You've been waiting for it, and here's the time. This 6-cylinder is coming out, and it's going to go over there and live with the other dead one. This came out of the XY. It's also a 250. Because the XY was such a late car, that actually had a effectively an XA motor in it. So that one's got a cracked head, but ran. It's been outside for a while, so it's probably screwed now. If anybody needs a 3-speed gearbox, I'd recommend just setting out soon. It's not a top loader, get that through to you. It's just a column shift 3-speed. If anybody wants one or needs one, sing out, because that's going to go in the bin before too long, because Dad doesn't like scrap metal lying around. This one's got, I'm going to say, rooted rings in it, because this thing smokes like a mofo. So yeah, the chap I got it off, he went, oh, right on the pants. Yeah, bastard. Him and his missus put another head on it and refaced all the valves and all that stuff, but it didn't really solve the smoking issue. I suspect what has happened is it was probably okay before, and then redoing the head has forced all the pressure to come out the valves now. I mean, out of the rings. So this motor is toasted as well. But it does have a C4 attached to it. A 6-cylinder C4. Well, I'll double check when it comes out, but I'm pretty sure it does, because it's got the R trans in it, which normally it's a P. And I'm pretty sure a P trans is a Borg and R is C4. So I think it might retain some value, the C4 that's in it. But it's just going to come out. I'm going to try and maybe sell the C4. The motor's just going to go to the bin. It's toasted. Nobody wants these engines. They only want them if they're any good. But I will plunder bits off it, like the brand new radiator hoses. I'll keep the carby off it, the alternator, and I think the starter motor pooed itself, even though that's an AU one. Which, the thing about old Falcons, the starter motors from late ones bolt straight into the old ones. There's my new brakes. I got the wiper motor working, so I put some of that back together. So we're just going to strip all this stuff out, radiator out, fan off, pull some of the accessories off the motor, get underneath it, roll it into the carport, and drop the tail shaft and the exhaust and the rear cross member, and undo all the bolts, and either take it out today or tomorrow, depending on how well we do and how much daylight is. I've had to be doing a bit of home dad duties earlier, so that's why I didn't get out here until late this afternoon. But some progress is better than no progress, so let's get cracking. Well, if the birds ever shut up, I can actually film this properly, but just remove the radiator, did the trans lines, probably going to rip off the fan, the alternator, the rest of the hoses, rip out the distributor, fuel pump, coil, disconnect the fuel line, because I'm going to keep that stuff. I don't tend to throw that crap out. You'd be surprised how often I've come back for the stuff. And you know, they were all working. I need to throw them out with the engine. Plus it'll make it a little less crap that I'll have to deal with when I'm pulling the engine out. Take the battery, drop the exhaust, take the starter motor, disconnect throttle linkages. Just trying to think about a good way to put the camera in here so you can see everything. I might do it on the front and have it like that, I reckon. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Stripped off all the stuff I want to keep because it's never a bad idea. The amount of times I've taken stuff off 6 cylinders, dumped it, and then 5 or 6 years later I've come back and gone, gee, I had some of that stuff, and then go find it, put it back on, and it still works. So the carby alternator's going to go on the V8. The water pump was new, thermostat was new, thermostat housing was new, and those thermostat housings for these 6 cylinders are way too expensive for my likings. So that came off, distributor out, fuel pump out. I might steal that original oil pressure switch once it's on the ground. I took out the engine mounts from here, so I think if I... Oh, and I just got to undo the 2 bolts on the exhaust. Drop that down. Wrecked them. Damn near killed them. We can roll this into the carport, jack up the back, drop the tail shaft, undo the handbrake, work the way forward, disconnect the column shift, which is a bit of an odd thing. I don't know if I'll be doing a time lapse underneath the car, but I'll certainly splice in some where we're up to's with it. It just seems like it might be a bit difficult to get a good angle on film. That starter motor refused to play ball the other day, so that can stay where it is. I was like, I'm not keeping that. It can stay there, don't like it anymore. And then yeah, pluck this turd out, and I will steal some bits out of it. I think I might have to steal the gearbox bolts out of it and a few things like that. Yeah, so let's get a cracking. So I'm under the car now, and for the first time I've actually never looked under the car, would you believe? I've got to tackle the tail shaft, which is just 4 little itsy bitsy 7/16mm bolts, and then I was looking under here as you go, oh yeah, bit dirty, seen a lot of country roads. Keep going, and then you see the seat mount, and you're like, holy shit. Whew. Do you know, I can see myself replacing that floor brace in the coming future. It's not supposed to look like that. The other one matches. It's just... what can I say? Look at the floor. This car is like surprisingly rust free, but holy crap, it's got dents on it. Like, this guy liked acoustically parking on everything, you know. Everything's been hit. You're like, there isn't a straight panel on it. But its saving grace is it's not rusty. I really am sick and tired of fixing rust. Well, on my own cars anyway. But wowza, in my trousers, that is just insane. You would have certainly heard that when you were going down the road and hit that, whatever the hell that was. Crazy. Otherwise, the rest of it's not too bad. That rear engine, the rear, use your English, dickhead. That rear trans mount looks like it's melted. It's oozing out, but it definitely looks like it's probably gonna all come apart, hopefully. You've got to drop the handbrake cable. God, is that bent or not? You've got to drop the handbrake cable a little bit so that the tail shaft, the extension housing on the trans doesn't catch it as you remove the engine. So that's the next task. Got to get that out. Then that, you get the jack and drop down the rear cross member, and then the gear stick linkages, and then yank this turd out. Wow, how about that for an epic hit? Okay, we have made progress. Gee, look at that mount. It is knackered, absolutely toasted. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a C4. Sorry about the camera, we are underneath a car right now. Yeah. Interesting enough, it seems that the 6-cylinder C4s and the V8 C4s have the dipsticks in different spots, but I'm pretty sure the transes are still the same and most of the internals are. So, sing out if you'd like to purchase this gearbox. Cheap. I would prefer you to be in South Australia if you are keen on it. It does work. I believe it was a bit low on fluid, but I know it was working because it drove and I've driven the car and it shifts through all the gears. So despite its ugliness, I know that it does work. And I know C4s are one of the most desirable transmissions Ford have in an old Falcon. And actually very rare to find a 6-cylinder one, because nearly all these cars are Borg Warners. Yeah, I don't know who designed the handbrake to be that goddamn long, but yeah, making progress. Don't know which way this camera angle is going to come out because I'm upside down, inside out. But look at that. She's nasty. Oh, I don't even want to touch anything. It's just that disgusting. It's like, I'm pretty sure this giant brown lump of turd is actually a transmission. But, yeah, okay, so it's time to give it the old college heave-ho and tug it. Yeah. Alright, everything's out. Time to yank this mofo. What a magical thing. Yes, I don't have all of the right equipment where I am at home. All my good stuff's at the workshop, so, you know, can't win everything. So I had to make do with a geriatric crane and basic chain, and bloody hell, those column shift auto brackets, holy shit, did they give me some grief. And yeah, I forgot to plug the trans, so whoops-a-daisy, but we'll clean it up tomorrow. It's no biggie. Degrees is fairly cheap. Yeah, well, that's what you get when you do it on your own in the dark with basic tools. But the goal was achieved, and weirdly enough, it's not too bad in here. I'm going to cut that exhaust off. That 6-cylinder throttle linkage can go away, which actually, if you were trying to make a XA or XY or XW a V8 and you needed the bracket, I reckon you could probably modify that bracket and turn that half up and put a little ball on it like that. I reckon using that linkage and a bit of ingenuity, I reckon you could turn that into a V8 accelerator bracket for a XY. So yeah, we've got a few things to change in this. We've got to rework the fuel line. It's got to actually come out of that hole. If you've seen my videos, you know I've got a V8 fuel line. Get rid of those plates. They're the 6-cylinder ones. Need to put the V8 ones in. Remove that, the front half of the exhaust. Take off that off the firewall. Eventually get a hold of some V8 radiator mounts, which go down the bottom on those. Then we've got to build the V8, which will be in the next week, probably, because I'm picking it up Monday. So we've been derailed a little bit, but I had to get this dead turd out of the engine bay and start prepping here, and I probably will give it a bit of a birthday in here. Not much, just give it a clean. It's really filthy, and then we can get it prepped to have the V8 dropped in. And when I put that in, I will be doing that a lot better. I'll go buy the proper engine leveling tool that bolts onto the engine and put it in properly. I don't really care when I take them out. So it's out. It's going to go away. I'll probably try and sell that C4 trans because there's nothing wrong with it. And they're highly desirable. I've been told if you change the bell housing for a a V8 one, that'll go on the back of a Windsor or something like that, I don't know. But I reckon you could use the guts of that to rebuild a V8 one, so I'm hoping somebody may want it, or even if they want a C4 for a 6-cylinder. Probably wouldn't be a bad trans to get built nice and tough to put a barra behind in front of, because I reckon that bell housing would be the same bolt pattern. Don't quote me on this, I think it would be, knowing Ford they don't change too much. I'd be surprised if that wasn't the same bolt pattern as a late model barra motor. But that turd is going to go tomorrow. We'll do a big cleanup. That lump of shit's going to go over there. That's going to probably go, maybe not in the weather, probably wouldn't hurt it for a while. Yeah, and put the bonnet back on and just park this car back over there till we're ready. But this should keep you guys quite nicely entertained for videos. I haven't been putting any music on the time-lapsing because I kept getting copyright issues with the music. So probably when I upload it there won't be any music in it, but I'll come back to it later and put some in it once it's uploaded. But I thought this is a nice episode, get the motor out, strip all the stuff off. I really need to move it probably from the out of the open in case it rains, which is over here, the bucket full of goodies. So if you need any 6-cylinder stuff to sing out, it certainly saves buying it new. Love these buckets, they've got wheels on them. There we go, lovely. There's new radiator hoses. I mean, you may want to clean them, but water pump, all the goodies, most of the accessories of a 6-cylinder. Yeah. Goodbye, you 6-cylinder turd. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Laugh along. You know, hope it's entertaining, or at least a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.